Hey guys, what's up? Or in the good humor of Martin Lawrence, what's up? Okay, don't tell anyone I did that. I was watching the Martin show this week, and the theme song, how it goes. Just go back and watch the show, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Good times, though. But anyways, guys, welcome back to my podcast. No cap, just raw. I never get tired of saying it. So today, we are talking about a topic that I am no stranger to. And I have definitely lived through it, still living it. And I have to say that I have a question for you. Can you afford it? Can you afford it? Can you fit the bill? Because I am telling you right now, it is costly. There are places that people get to, mountain peaks that people reach, that cost them everything. And there are so many people that walked the face of this earth, and they are considered great. They are examples of greatness. And you guys know that every time I get on here, it is all about empowering who you are. The purpose, the divine purpose in you, the divine person that you are destined to be. And I'm speaking to that person right now. And so when I ask you if you can you afford it? Can you fit the bill? That is literally what I'm asking you, because there is a cost to everything in this life. Nothing. Let me say it again, because most of us have heard this before. Nothing is for free in this life. Nothing. Everybody has paid a price for what they have. Whether they paid that cost, whether they paid that price, whether the currency of what it cost was money, their soul, a family member, their freedom, the ability to make their own choices. Listen, that goes hand in hand with freedom. It costs everybody something to have some things that they have. I know a lot of times when we think about the cost of things, I know especially for me, I think about fame. Fame has a price. It has a cost. There is nobody that is on television getting playtime or in a 2-hour movie that's just in the movie because they auditioned so very well, or they're a great actor, actress, a great performer. Yes, they may be all those things. They are definitely talented, and some even gifted at what they do, but they paid the price to be in that movie. They paid the price they had to fit the bill to play the character that they play. I think about, may his soul rest in peace, but I think about Heath Ledger. And I say that because I love Heath Ledger. He played in the movie The Dark Knight. That's just one of the main roles that I know him for, and that made him some kind of legend after he played that character. But he also lost his life playing the Joker. He is by far, or should I say was by far, the best Joker I've ever seen in any Batman movie. And how many Batman movies have they filmed in the past 3 decades? So you get the picture. But Heath Ledger played in The Dark Knight, and I think Dark Knight was one of the best Batman movies of all time, in my opinion. I've seen some of the old ones, not to its entirety. They're not bad, but The Dark Knight just kind of put a spin on Batman that we have never seen before. We saw Batman in a way we never thought we could see him. And Christian Bale did an amazing job. He's super handsome. He was a great Batman. He was believable. And he just fit the role so well. And then you had Heath Ledger, who was the Joker, and he just fit the mold. Like, he played the Joker like he was the Joker. And till this day, they make memes out of, the Joker, Heath Ledger's version of the Joker, because that's how good he played the role. But that character cost him his life. And a lot of people, when his death, was announced, it was a shock to the world because the movie wrapped up. And now you're hearing that Heath Ledger is no longer with us. And it was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? He just shot the biggest movie role of his life, and he's gone. And he was so very young. I can't really remember his age, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like giving false information to you guys. But Heath Ledger, if I'm not mistaken, he was 28 when he passed. They did say that it was a drug overdose. And there is no bigger price than your life, guys. I'm telling you right now. And today, let's see, Heath Ledger. We have not heard about Buddy in a really long time. Let's see. He was about 28, 29 years old when he died. So he was very young. Yeah, he was 28 when he died. So he died in 2008 at the age of 28. He played in a lot of also other movies of his that I've seen. 10 Things I Hate About You. He played in Brokeback Mountain and just a lot of other roles. I'm not all too familiar with all of his movies, but Dark Knight was definitely at the top of my list. And yeah, like I said, that movie was like his final, that was his curtain call, because after that he died. So he went through a lot. He put himself under a lot of pressure to play this character the right way. And he paid a price to be the Joker, and it cost him his life. So when I ask you if you can afford it, can you afford it, it's really me asking you, what are you willing to do to get there, to make it, to be that, to become? And when I say that, it's not me daring you, and it's not me baiting you. It's really a serious question that you need to ask yourself. You need to search from within. And this is why a lot of people, they say only 1% really gets to that place, the place of doing the extraordinary. And I used to hear that, and I'm like, what? 1%? What about the other 99%? Because it's hard. It's hard to become. It's hard to get there. It's hard to reach. It's hard to get to the places that we dream about every single day, because it costs something to get there. The Bible tells us that we were bought with a price. Jesus paid the ultimate cost for us to live the life that we live, to be who we are. Yahweh shed his blood on Calvary for you and me. And because of his sacrifice, he paid the cost for us to have the access that we have to God. Without the shedding of the blood of Yahweh, we would not have the kind of relationship that we have with God today. If you look at the Old Testament, how things were done, they had to pay a cost to get their sins atoned for. They had to make sacrifices every time they made a mistake or they broke a commandment. They had to go to amongst their livestock and make a sacrifice to Yahweh and say, God, forgive me for doing this and this and that. Blood had to be shed, pure blood, each time. And so Old Testament was hard knock. The cost was costly. And God, I love reading the Old Testament. There are so many stories there that really depicts what I'm talking about. And I have to really dive deep into this and share with you guys a story that is going to really sum it up for you and help you to understand. So, there are people that look at people and they say, wow, how do they do that? How does she do that? How does she make it look so easy? How does he get up there and just do his thing and it just works perfectly? How does that happen? Wow, she's got everything. Wow, I wish I was her. I wish I was him. And things like that. And I'm just throwing out there some of the thoughts that sometimes we have when we look at people, or some of the thoughts that people have when they look at us. And so I can remember a time in my life when I was a freshman in high school, and I was captain of the dance team, and I was trying to keep my grades up. I was trying to be a good girl at home for mommy and daddy, and just doing everything I can to do right and to be right, might I add. And within all of that, I really paid a price to be who I was and to be who I am. And I remember during that time in my life, I started to really experience, so I want to say between being an 8th grader in middle school and becoming a freshman in high school, taking on this new role, I had a lot of haters. This was like probably the first time in my life where I actually started, being so tired of haters. I grew tired of the idea that people were hating on me, and I thought something was wrong with me. So my mom, I would always, of course, my mom was my confidant and my bestie, so I would always go to her and, tell her how I was feeling and about what happened to me at school and how this person was mean to me and how I didn't know what to do to, I guess make these girls or guys, there were boys too that were haters. I didn't know what to do to make them not hate on me. And my mom would always tell me just like this. She was like, there's no Xerox copy of you. And Xerox is like, it's so old school, guys. Xerox is like the copy machine. Those big, bulky, public school copy machines? Those industrial copy machines that can make thousands of copies. So she was talking about that. She said, there's no Xerox copy of you. And I understood what she meant. She was basically trying to tell me that I'm unique and that there's nobody in the world like me. And so being me came with a cost. It came with the territory. Hate came with the territory. And so I imagine if you're listening to this or you're watching this, you're probably a lot like me. And what you're hearing right now is definitely not a shock to you, but it's more like, dang, that was me. I was the girl that all the girls hated, that all the girls wanted to be, all the boys wanted to date me, and things like that. And that was me. That was like my life, and it still is. And I don't say that with a grain of salt. I say it to say that it's a blessing, and it can be a curse, depending how you look at it. I don't think it's a curse. I never for a minute thought it was a curse, but sometimes I became frustrated with how people responded to me, to the point where now I just stopped caring, because I'm like, it's going to happen. It comes with the territory. It's the cost of being me. And so when you see people that hate on you, or that dislike you, and there's no reason for the hate. There's no reason for the dislike. You should think to yourself, can they afford it? Can you afford to be me? Can you afford to do the things that I do? Can you fit the bill? And a lot of them can't. And that's why they're hating on you. That's why they dislike you. And I know this is a little elementary, and I say that because I definitely am way past the lesson of trying to please people, trying to make people like me, trying to dumb down my character and personality so that I don't make someone feel little. Because there are people who stand next to you and they feel little. There are people who stand by you and they feel like you're better than them. That's just their mentality. That's their insecurity, and that is not your business. People's opinion of you is not your business. And I am way past this lesson. It is definitely elementary to me. Does it still happen? Of course. Sometimes more than other days it happens. It happens still consistently. But the difference between now and when I was a freshman or an 8th grader in middle school is that now I'm not so aware of it. So although it may be happening on a larger scale because there's more exposure, I'm not aware of it because I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you hate me. You're a hater, and at the end of the day, that's not my business. What your opinion of me is not my problem. So I'm not going to sit here and worry about how this person hates me because of the way I did my hair. Go do your hair. Fix your hair. If you don't like something about yourself, do something about it. But it's not my job to pour acid on my face so that you can feel better about yourself. It is not my job to stop being myself so that you can feel better about yourself. My job is to be me. My job is to be the woman that God called me to be. Your job is to be yourself in spite of. And so you paid the price to be who you are, and you can't let anyone take that away from you. And so when I say, can you afford it? That's really me asking you, when you get there, will you let anybody stop you? When you get there, are you going to change who you are because there's more exposure? And more exposure means more hate. More exposure means more opinions. More exposure means more light, more eyes. So be prepared. Be of the mindset that it comes with the territory. But you paid the price to be there. And so people have no idea that I didn't just wake up one day and turn on a camera and boom, camera's on and instant success. No, I work hard to be where I am. I paid the price. People don't see the nights that you were up at 3 in the morning reading your scripture, meditating on the word day and night, praying, spending time in the presence. People don't see the times where things didn't go your way, but you said, God, I'm going to trust you. I don't understand, God, but I'm going to trust. People don't see the times where it was a challenge and you could have given up, but you didn't. Those are the things that they did not see. But that's part of the cost. It is costly to be who you are. It is costly to be the person that you're becoming. And so, because it's costly, the price is way too high to quit now, and the price is way too high to let anyone's opinion make you feel inferior, make you feel like you got to stop along the way so that you can bring some low lives up with you. Sometimes the level that you're in, not everyone can be there with you. Not everyone can come up to that level because not everybody can handle that level. And God, because He's a God of order, He won't allow it. Because God is so much in order that He knows what you did to get there. And you think He's going to just allow somebody who didn't pay the price to get there with you or to go there with you? No, it's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. All the things that you do, sometimes people don't realize that sometimes we don't feel like doing it. But there's just something inside of you that's like, we have to do this. We have to get this done. Right? And because of that still small voice that is always constantly talking to you and telling you to do the things that you do that sometimes you don't want to do, that's a price that you're paying there. It's costly. It is costly to live in purpose. Purpose costs something. And so everyone's not willing to pay the price. You know, and I talked about the industry at the beginning. I feel to bring it back up. We look at artists who are in the music industry, who are in the movie, entertainment industry. They paid a price to be that artist that they are, to release those albums, to go on tour, to hold those concerts, a worldwide tour. And it is only later in their career, when their career's over, then they start telling all the stories of what they went through. And I hate to bring it up, but it's coming into my spirit. But I also think about the whole Diddy case. You know, what Diddy's going through. You know, there was a time where Diddy was it. He was the ish. You know, he was that producer, that artist who made all the discoveries, had all the money, the clothing line, the perfume. I remember Sean John. Y'all know Sean John? You know, the clothing, the perfume, and everything. And it's like he was on top of the world. And it's like in 0.5 seconds, it's like that can all be, you know. And he, unfortunately, and I have to say unfortunately because I guess it wasn't worth it, but he paid a price to be Diddy, to be Sean Diddy Combs. It cost him something. It cost him his reputation. It cost him his life. I mean, Diddy will never be the same after this case. Diddy will never be just Sean Diddy Combs anymore. Everybody's going to give him different adjectives because the proof is in the pudding. And now there's no, okay, I'm going to pay this person off so they don't release this information. It's all out there. Whatever is done in the dark always comes to the light eventually. So if you're going to pay the price, at least pay the right one. You know, I think about everything that I do, this empire that I'm building, this podcast, and I know it's worth it. It costs. Getting on here every Wednesday and delivering this message and these topics to you guys, it costs me something. It don't just cost me, I know what you're thinking, it costs her time. It costs money too, y'all. Sometimes money that I don't have, but I put my trust, I put my confidence in the Lord. He makes a way, guys, where there seems to be no way. And thank goodness I am paying the price for things where I'm not alone. That's another thing. I am not alone in the price that I'm paying for what I am doing. God is with me. Yahweh fits the bill for me. He pays for me. Yes, I got a man who fits all the bills for me. He helps me with the cost. And that right there is unfair. That is unfair. You know, that is unfair favor. And if you're listening to this, you know, you may say, I work so hard and and listen, with no sarcasm, no jokes, all jokes aside, I applaud you because I can relate to you. Because working hard is definitely a key. It's a major key. You got to work hard. You got to be diligent. You got to put time in. You got to put your money where your mouth is. If you believe in what you're doing, if you believe that the cost you're paying for what you're doing is worth it, then you're going to do everything you can to see this thing through. However, yes, there is a however. Just make sure that it's worth it. Right? And it's just like what I said about Diddy. He paid a price, but was it worth it? What he paid for because of the decisions that he made and what he chose to pursue in this life, was it worth it? What you're doing, is it worth it? Is the cost worth it? I see people do things for reasons that are just, beyond me. Like, I see people make sacrifices for people or for things, and I'm just like, everybody can see it ain't worth it. Like, it is not worth it. I have an example for you, and there may be a couple of others that come to mind. But I think about Samson and Delilah. If you read in the book of Judges chapters 16, 15, 16, 17, around there, go and read the book of Judges, because I am telling you guys, the Bible is tea. It is like a drama. It is like a soap opera. Like, every story in the Bible, it's not just a story. Like, it happened for real, for real, for real. Like, it's real life. And so when I have read about Samson and Delilah so many times, but every time I read it, it's like something new jumps at me. But the last time I read about Samson, he's super strong, he's got long locks, and I imagine he's very handsome. I don't know, just me imagining. I bet he was. But he wasn't very wise. Like, this guy was, yes, he was spirit-led. He had the Lord in him. But he also was led by his emotions a lot. Like, that's what he wanted was what he wanted, and nobody could tell him otherwise. So he was headstrong, and which is a good thing. Persistence is good. Headstrong can be looked at as passionate and certain, and that's why God raised him up as one of the judges in Israel during that time, because of his bold personality. He was chosen from his mother's womb. Before he was born, his parents were greeted with a message from the Lord through angels that came and visited them before Samson was born. And they gave specific and strict instructions about how they were to raise him. No razor was to touch his head, no alcohol, and things like that. And so when you think about that, it's like, wow, he was definitely unique, a unique fellow, and he definitely paid the price to be Samson. So yes, he had super strength, he had long locks, but he had to live his life a certain way to be that man that was deemed superhuman. I mean, technically he was superhuman. He had special abilities that God gave him. He was gifted. So when you think about, though, as the story progresses, about how his life ended, you're like, dang, man, was she worth it? Like, he died because of Delilah. Like, dude. And I thank God, I thank Yahweh for putting stories like that in the Bible that just kind of makes us scratch our heads and be like, dang, I would never do something like that. You would never do it like that because somebody did it. Someone paid that price for you. You're reading about it today and you're like, dang, I don't think I'll ever do that. And there are some people who fall in situations that are just, they fall into these situations and you're like, how, man? How did you fall into that? And this is why I love reading the Word of God, because it does give you wisdom, and it is another reminder. When you find yourself in situations where you have to pay a price, you find yourself asking yourself, is it worth it? So anyways, Samson loses his life because the secret of his superpower was because of his locks. No razor had ever touched his head, so his obedience and his parents' obedience in never cutting his hair produced a power from the Lord. And so his super strength was in his obedience of never cutting his hair. And when he told her that, she set him up for money. So after he told her his secret, she betrayed him. She betrayed him. They caught him. They gouged his eyes out, and they made a mockery out of him. And he was in the temple of these false gods and the people who wanted him dead because of, he was a mighty warrior and he could kill so many with just by himself. I don't have enough time to get into the story, but if you read the story, it is quite interesting how this man took the jawbone of a donkey and killed like 200 Philistines in one setting. Like, it's crazy. It just goes to show how powerful and mighty he was in the Lord. But when he was in the temple of these false gods with his eyes gouged out, he asked the Lord, he said, God, give me strength one last time to end these people, and you can end my life with them. And he grabbed a hold of the pillars that were holding up the temple. And I don't know why they put them there. That was not smart, but it was strategic. God allowed it to be so. He took hold of the pillars of this temple, and he shook them with all his might. Pillars came down, whole temple came down, and everybody who was in there died, including him. And that's the end of his life. So he actually killed more Philistines in his death than while he was alive. Love the story of Samson, but he paid a price, y'all. He paid a price to be Samson. And so there's a price to who you are. You paid the price. It's costly to be you. And this is why I always say, don't take it lightly. This journey that you're on of becoming who you are. And some of us are still trying to figure it out. Some of us have figured it out. Some of us are living it out. But still, even though you figuring it out, living it out, you are still paying a price on both ends. There's still a price that you're still and consistently paying, because it is the repetition of your routine that is keeping you in that place of who you truly are. So, in summary, I can say that if you're listening to this, let this be a reminder that at the end of the day, all that matters is who God says you are, how you view yourself, and also being reminded of the fact that what you are, who you are, and whose you are, you paid a price in all three sections. And you cannot allow anything or anyone to come in the middle of that. Between you and Yahweh, you must keep that sacred. Your relationship with God is sacred. Your relationship with yourself is sacred. And you cannot allow people to speak over you, to give their opinions about you, about what you believe. You can shut that down. You don't have to listen. Don't be afraid to put people in their place. Don't be afraid to guard your heart. Don't be afraid to guard your gateways, your eyes, your ears, and your mouth. Those are gateways. You have to know that that is sacred. What you see, what you hear, and what you speak is sacred, and it's powerful. And so, don't allow your ears to hear negative talks about you. Oh, you broke. You ain't never going to be anything. You're not going to make it. So that's a dumb idea. No, shut that down right there and then. Don't let it linger, because if you let it linger, it'll linger in your mind. So do not let it linger. When I'm on my social media and I'm scrolling and I'm going through different videos and feeds, I don't look at everything anymore, and I don't listen to everything anymore. People's experiences of what they went through, and oh, I failed in this, and this didn't work, and I just stopped believing in God, and I just gave my life, I just gave up, and I did this, and this worked for me. Well, that's you, honey, but that's not me. And so just that, having that consistent reminder of what it takes or what it took to be where you are, you need to constantly remind yourself of that. And there will be times where your mind will drift off. You will lapse. You have to fight against that. You cannot allow it. That you have to deem these things as abnormal. Label them for what they are. Abnormal behavior, abnormal thoughts, abnormal, and I will not tolerate it. And once you know something is abnormal, then you're just like, if it's abnormal, then I'm not going to normalize it. I'm not going to permit it. I'm going to fight against it. And every time I have a negative thought about myself, I won't accept it. I'm going to fight against it. That is what you're supposed to do. Personally, I fight with the Word. I arm myself with the armor of God. Ephesians 6, starting on verse 10 on down. Arm yourself. Put the helmet of salvation on, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shoes of peace, the shield of faith, and the sword of the Spirit. And when you armed, and I mean you got to arm yourself every single day, it doesn't mean that the weapons won't form, because no weapon formed against you shall prosper. They won't prosper. They will form. Time to time, weapons will form against you. They're going to try you. Thoughts going to try you. People will try you. And when you're strong, especially strong in your spirit, strong in your mind, and people see that, they're going to try you the most. They'll try you online, they'll try you in your face, and they're just watching to see how you're going to respond. And I don't got to get out of character to respond, right? I don't have to get out of character to put you in your place, but I will put you in your place. I will stop you right there, and once I stop you, you'll never do it again. I'm telling you. I can't tell you how many haters be hating. I can't tell you how many times people have tried to speak demise over my life, try to tell me the life I'm going to have. Well, I think you're going to be with this kind of person. Well, I think you're going to have this many kids. Well, I think that you're going to end up working this kind of job. I don't care what you think. Because what you think, I don't give a hoots. I don't give two hoots about what you think about me. Focus on your life. You're too busy looking at mine. That's envy. Watch the company you keep. And we're about to wrap up, but I feel so strongly to remind somebody, watch who you talk to. Watch who you call friend. Watch how they act when things get difficult. We ain't talking about friends right now, but I'm speaking prophetically. Just really keep your eyes peeled. Watch how they make comments about you and what you do and what you have. Oh, that's a nice car. They didn't say nothing wrong. They just said my car is nice. Maybe they're envious. They want the car you have. Oh, wow. Your house is really big. Okay. You got something else you want to say? Like, friends don't talk to each other like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always believe that a friend is like a built-in sibling. A friend is like a sibling. The sibling from a different mother. That's all a friend is. A true friend. So, that, even the word friend, I know we're not talking about friend, but I don't even know why I'm going there. But somebody needs to hear this. It costs too much to be you. It costs too much to be your friend. I'm telling you right now, if you see I call somebody a friend, know they paid the price to be my friend. Know that they paid a price to talk to me. Because I say this all the time, but I don't talk to a lot of people. There is very few people that I talk to. I can count on one hand how many friends that I have. And that is none of your business. But the point is that being friends with me comes with a cost. There's a price to pay to be my friend. And oh my gosh, that's cocky. Well, you think you're better than... No. I don't think I'm better. I'm the best. I'm the best because I rock with the best. I'm friends with the best. And because I'm with the best, then anyone who's around me is the best too. They walk in excellence. They speak and live in excellence because they know what it costs. How they know that they can afford it. Can you afford it? Guys, I'm going to stop right there because I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about this topic. I love this topic. I live this topic. I feel like I've lived this in so many lifetimes. And so I'm definitely qualified to let somebody know that I'm paying the price to be me. I'm paying the price to do the things that I do. And so I never look at somebody else and wish I had what they had or do what they do. I want to do what I'm doing. I want what's mine. I don't want to drink anybody else's cup because I can't drink nobody else's cup. I can only drink the cup that I'm supposed to drink that's for me, the cup that was meant for me. My capacity is what I have capacity for. So never look at somebody and want what they have. Desire what's for you. And be selective. Be selective because you are paying a price to be who you are. Can you afford it? That's it, guys. Thank y'all for rocking with me on this episode. And like, comment, share, subscribe. Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to know that they were bought with a price. Bye.